Hey, it's Richard Light and Gadget, and we finally found a spot that's sort of fairly quiet in order to film this hands-on video for you guys. And so here it is, the ASUS PadFone 2, and overall it's very, very similar to its predecessor. As you can see, the back still has the same sort of ripple design that goes with the Zen design language that ASUS is currently sort of applying across all its products. And there's also a metallic aluminium bezel all over, so that's also very similar to the original PadFone. Now, but the main difference is that the screen has been bumped up to 4.7 inches, and it's also at 720p resolution. This is now LCD, Super IPS Plus technology, so it's very, very sharp and crisp, much better than the Super AMOLED panel on the original PadFone. And you guys can probably also see here, the buttons, these Android soft buttons are no longer virtual, so you can basically tap on them whenever you feel like it. So in a way, it's sort of saving screen space, and we like that. Now, the front-facing camera is now 1.2 megapixels resolution, so the people who like self-portraits will be delighted. And the camera on the back is now at 13 megapixels, so that's a huge jump from the original 8 megapixels. And the sensor's made by Sony for those who are interested. And there's also a SIM tray here, so you need to get hold of a paper clip in order to get the tray out. And also this is now using micro SIM, as we've been told, so if you've got a regular SIM from the original PadFone, then you have to chop it down a bit. And in terms of software, this is still running Ice Cream Sandwich, but we've been told to expect a Jelly Bean update soon, but there's no solid date yet. But still, the response is very slick. Oh, and by the way, in case you haven't heard, this thing is running on a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro APQ8064 quad-core processor. So it's one of the best processors you can get on a mobile phone these days. And there aren't that many phones that feature this yet, so ASUS kind of got lucky with the supply, we guess. And there's also 2 gigabytes of RAM, so again, a huge selling point here. And there's LTE radio in here as well. But the compatibility to certain bands will depend on which sort of model you get, but the worldwide version will support LTE at 800, 1800 and 2600 megahertz bands. So let's turn this back on, and so stay tuned for the availability for other models. So while the interface hasn't changed much, there are some nice software additions, and we're going to show you guys a couple. So for this one, you see this button on the left here. This is actually what they call the Instant Dictionary, and it's very much what it says on the tin. You can enable it by tapping on this button at the taskbar, or whatever it's called these days. And so basically, you can, if you want to look up a word, you just simply tap on here, and in our case, we are looking up some Chinese words. So let's say we want to look at what these 2 characters mean. Oh, okay, that's pretty much there. Funfair, okay, interesting. And let's just highlight that. So yeah, activities. And when you're done, you just tap the button again. Obviously, it works better once you zoom further in. And let's just try again. This should say price. Yep. And this should say buy. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, doesn't make much sense there, but you get the idea. So it's very slick, very easy to use. All you need is just a live data connection. There's also this thing called ASUS Studio, which we just came across. Let's just agree to that. And in a way, let's see what's going on here. So we haven't got any photos here, but as you can see, it actually displays photos in sort of like a magazine style. And we're sure it'll look pretty nice once we actually get actual photos on it. You can see it can arrange photos by time, location, etc. Now, obviously, this is the PadFone, so we cannot forget that there's also a huge tablet here. We say huge, but this is actually a huge improvement from the bulky original PadFone station. This is very, very light. It's hard for you guys to sort of feel it, but basically trust us on this. It's very light. The tablet plus the PadFone, let's actually dock it in to show you guys how fast it is. Now here it is. Yep, so very fast again, and the response is just as slick as it is on the phone. This tablet plus the phone now weighs less than the new iPad, whereas the original PadFone plus the original PadFone station combined together weighs more than the original iPad. So you guys can imagine how much of a massive improvement this is. Now this is still a 10.1-inch IPS panel. But the colors, we're seeing a sort of a slightly different temperature on the colors. Now at the bottom here, the massive dock connector is gone, and it's been replaced by a smaller but still a funky 13-pin socket that's designed by ASUS, but it is still compatible with micro USB. What they've done is they've basically just combined sort of micro USB and HDMI and the radio signal antennas together in order to save space. So the same goes with the phone. You guys can probably just see it inside the bay as well as at the bottom of the phone. Now, actually, we almost forgot to mention, there's some sort of weird mechanism going on here, like along the two sides of the bay, which actually lets us sort of keep the phone. So we're really shaking quite hard here, and the phone is still staying inside. So there's some sort of a rubber grip that's got some teeth on it, and it looks like once you push it in, the grips start working and basically just keep hold of the phone. But still, sliding the phone in and out is very, very easy for some reason. Yet we can't shake the thing out. Oh, okay, so enough of that. But as you can see, no cover on the back now. So yeah, you just slide the phone here. It's not entirely flush with the back though. That's one concern. But we have a feeling that this little sort of chin here will help reduce any wear and tear on the phone itself. But only time will tell, and we shall find out in our review whenever we get hold of our review unit. There's still a mono speaker here, and it's very loud and crisp, as we found out earlier. Volume rocker, power button, and that's very much basically it. Oh, and that's a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera, not that far off from the one on the phone. So there you have it. I think we've basically covered everything here. So this is the ASUS PadFone 2. Very, very awesome. Stay tuned for more.